Hi, this is Don Goldberg with Focus Washington's Tech View. The big topic in government technology these days has been the Open Government Initiative put out by the Obama White House. And our guest today is Rob Pinkerton of Adobe Systems, who's very much deeply involved in open government. And Rob, glad to have you on board today.
Oh, thanks for having me here, Don.
So, big initiative from the Obama White House came out about a week and a half ago, ordering all the agencies to do all sorts of open government things. Tell us what exactly this directive says and what it's all about.
Okay, so the Open Government Directive, which actually is a follow-up to the Open and Transparent Government Memo that the Obama administration released the very first day that he took office, is about helping to change the culture and behavior of Washington to really open up. And this includes things like transparency, participation, collaboration, but in general it was guidelines. It was a vision that was delivered the first day. The Open Government Directive that was released last week gives more definition to what agencies need to do, some deadlines specifically for when they need to release data, when they need to publish information and how, and specifically what kind of plans that they're going to have. So it's exciting stuff because it's putting some more substance to some very good ideas.
And open government, I mean, it's kind of an open term. It's hard to know exactly what they're talking about. Is this about publishing the types of information that the public needs to have, or what type of issues are we involved in?
Yeah, I mean, so that's part of it, and a big part of open government is transparency. It's making what the government does more accessible to people who are interested and care, and really trying to get better, more quick insight into the decision-making and operations of government. But it's also about making it easier to collaborate across government agencies, across private and public sector entities with individuals and businesses. And it's about participation. It's just inviting participation so that people can have a better understanding of their government and more involvement on a day-to-day basis.
Now, there's some tight deadlines for these agencies to meet, at least to put up some initial types of information required, just to show that they're moving in the right direction. What types of information do you think that agencies will try to put up at least quickly with this?
Sure, and so and you're right. There are deadlines of between 45, 60, 120 days, and one of them, which is near term, is to publish 3 new sets of data. I think strategic data that's not previously been available. And really, it's mission dependent. Right? It's dependent on the agency, it's dependent on the function, and I think we'll find a pretty creative assortment of data types that are available and accessible to folks. And I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't fully know. I have ideas for what might be interesting or available.
But. Well, so, I've been watching government for almost 30 years here in Washington. And this is the first time I've seen such a directive to really change the culture of government agencies to release information as opposed to withhold. What are the cultural challenges that agencies are going to have to overcome to meet this initiative?
And I think the first cultural challenge is that 30 years or really much longer than that of behavior that's learned and that is really ingrained in the institutions and the policies of government, which is it's cautionary. It's to be protective of information because you can get brutally punished either by oversight in Capitol Hill or through bad publicity if you pay for $800 hammers or whatever the different examples are. And I think that culture is that culture that has been developed over so many years is the biggest change. The idea of being very public about things, even potentially mistakes, so you can go correct them more quickly, is a huge change. I think there's also technology changes. I mean, this isn't just about wanting to change, but being able to. And there's a lot more enabling technologies out there that make it easy for government to share and to publish and to publish and share trusted information, make it accessible to people, make it available. And that requires a different type of behavior and understanding of technology as well.
Now, what about resources? Is this going to require additional resources that agencies are going to have to find somewhere, or how are they going to pay for this initiative?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the criticisms that have come out about open government is that there's no direct funding for this. And I used to work in Capitol Hill. I know when any directive comes down that's not funded, people want to throw their hands up and say we can't do it, right? And that is a challenge initially, but I think it's something that as technology becomes more core to strategy, which is really what the Obama administration is trying to do, is they're making it an equal partner with other core missions, is that you have to think about open government from a strategic perspective, and actually how you can generate and how agencies can generate a better ROI by changing behavior. You know, we have customers, Government Printing Office as an example, who have saved exceptional amounts of money just by publishing information electronically rather than by paper, and to do so in a secure way. You save money, that's resources, right? And that's you know, that's an opportunity that open government presents, because, you know, frankly, a lot of this behavior will drive, you know, more efficient use of resources.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of the criticism I've seen, there hasn't been a lot, has been that this is very heavy on transparency, releasing information, perhaps too light on collaboration and participation by citizens to sort of direct how government should go. What do you think of those? Or what's the arguments being made on either side there?
And I think, and I do think there's a big focus on transparency and getting the data available, and that's a core element. That is all, you know, progress. If we can make data more available, more, you know, accessible to people, to build applications, to build resources to understand government. And it's very relevant to what goes on, you know, here inside Washington in the day-to-day business of creating legislation. Mm-hmm. You know, on the other side, though, I mean, the reality is most of government is not about policy making. It's not about you know, making data available. It's about making services available. It's about really helping people get access to opportunity and access to resources they need. And that's really where I think collaboration and participation come into play, and helping, you know, the agencies understand how openness and open and transparent behavior can really drive collaboration and participation is critical to the long-term success of things like healthcare, right? I mean, healthcare is not just about the legislative fiat that comes from Congress. It's about making choices and understanding your options and getting access to services, and that is really is something that can be vitalized by more open and transparent government. And that's a priority that I think we'll see come down, you know, more aggressively as we go forward, but that's mm-hmm. one criticism.
Now, Adobe's been very active in open government. You guys hosted this huge conference about a month or so ago before the directive came out. You had all sorts of former and current government folks there. Yeah. What role do you hope that Adobe plays in helping agencies figure out how to implement the Open Government Initiative?
Sure. Well, and we were very excited when the initial memo came out, you know, at the beginning of the year, because what we saw was a like mind in technology vision of where the technology landscape is going, that really could support the vision of open government. And, you know, for us, we've been a very open company in terms of especially with regards to Reader and PDF mm-hmm. and Flash, and making technology available and the ubiquity that enables folks that really on the consumer side of, you know, the technology world has driven a lot of the changes that are often referred to as consumerization of technology mm-hmm. or the empowerment of individuals, which we really hope to see in government. And for us, this is, you know, we're excited. This is something we support. This is something we're trying to get, you know, behind and push, and mm-hmm. to really help the administration drive open government for our customers, for, you know, our end users, and, you know, ultimately for the government.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well, thank you very much. I mean, as I said, I've been watching this for a while. This is one of the biggest initiatives in the open government arena and transparency that I've seen. And I think it's going to be a cultural change. But we're going to follow this at TechView very closely, so we hope to have you back on. But thank you very much for being here.
Thanks.
I'm Don Goldberg for TechView.